5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hey, Zoinkers. Hey, Shagheads. Hey, everybody out there. It is Curtis Tucker back for another podcast episode of Zoinkies. I know it has been forever since I've gotten a episode done, and part of the reason, just busy here and there, and then always looking for something fun and interesting to talk about. But again, I'm going to figure this out and find my lane, and I will get cruising where hopefully I'll get a podcast episode out every week. So I appreciate you guys. If you are listening to this podcast on your favorite podcasting app, be sure to subscribe. And if you want to see me waving at you right now, be sure to go to my YouTube channel at Curtis Tucker on YouTube, and you can actually watch the episode. This is going to be one of those episodes where I think it would be funner to actually watch the podcast episode because I'm going to have some visuals. So head over there. If you guys do go to YouTube and search for Curtis Tucker, it's youtube.com/Curtis Tucker TV or at Curtis Tucker on YouTube. You will subscribe if you haven't subscribed to the channel, and that way you get notified every time a new episode or video comes out. And I post a lot of different videos on there, not just podcasting videos. So anyway, I know it's been a while, and I was thinking, what could I podcast about? Oh, real quick, you guys can hit me up at shaggyduck.com or Curtis at curtistucker.com. And don't forget, go to the blog at curtistucker.com, and I have a blog post and this video and audio from the podcast embedded on the latest blog post, which will be on this one. This episode is going to be called Day in My Life, September 2nd. Sorry, I was trying to decide, am I going to call it September 2nd or September 2th? One of those two. Anyway, so if you know me at all, you know I love the number 2. Born on 12/20/62, so a lot of 2s involved. So I feel lucky with the numbers 2, 20, and 22. And so when the date of the 2nd of the month or the 20th or the 22nd ends up on a Tuesday, I usually feel like that's pretty lucky. And so today is a lucky day. So I thought, well, let's pick a day in my life, and instead of like following me around through that day, and this is something I've never done. I've never gone to Facebook memories, but I guess there's a section of Facebook. Now, you know, every now and then I get the random memory, but there's actually a whole section where you can click on it and it will show you all of your posts from that date for every year that you posted on that date, all the way back as long as you've been on Facebook. And so I've never really gone there and looked back on a certain date. I normally just see the random posts that I get on my feed every now and then. So I decided, well, that might be kind of fun to go to memories on a date and go through that date through all the years and just kind of talk about what I was doing over the years. So that's what I did, since today is September 2nd. And also kind of cool because September 2nd a lot of times falls on Labor Day or around the Labor Day weekend. And so that lends itself to me out doing a lot more stuff than like on a normal date or a normal weekend. So a day in my life, September 2nd. Here we go. So today, September 2nd, 2025, what I did was I did my morning video on TikTok, and basically I just say something and then I video the sunrise. There wasn't much of a sunrise this morning, but I did put it together, and then I'll find a song that I think goes with it or matches, and I'll put it in the background. And I've been doing that for a year, and that was basically to get me used to doing TikTok, Reels, Stories, and vertical video, because I've always hated doing vertical video. Well, doing Stories, Reels, and TikTok it's a necessity to do vertical video. So I've been doing that a lot more. I'm not a fan of vertical video, but on a telephone, in those formats, I'm okay with it as long as it's short, a short form video. Still like the old horizontal video for longer and more involved videos. But anyway, so that was today. So let's go a year back, and this is where it's probably going to be better if you're watching the video, but I'll try to describe. So a year ago, and then some of these dates or years, I have multiple posts for that day, and so I'll try to let you know. Why does that say live? Why does that say live? Am I live? Surely I'm not live. Hang on one sec. This, my iPad, Facebook is saying I'm live, and I don't think I'm live. I didn't go live. No, I'm not live. I don't know why that says I'm live. Anyway. Okay, here we go. So a year ago, September 2nd, 2024, I took a picture of the sunrise, really, really awesome sunrise. And it says, it was quite a show this morning for Labor Day, September 2nd. Well worth the 16,000 steps. You'll wake up happy and energetic every day if you know the reason you're getting out of bed. Monday vinyl is Forrest Gump, 1994. And so just a little bit of encouragement for people to get up energetic and good vibes. So here is the sunrise from 2024. You guys can see that on the iPad. And then the next post is also from a year ago, and it is me doing my morning video. And I remember crouching down and there being that sunrise. Oh, look at that. I got water behind me and there is the sunrise. That was a pretty cool sunrise. So that was September 2nd, 2024. The caption says, just wow, the sky put on a show this morning. Enjoy. And so, yeah, that was one of my better morning videos with a sunrise. Then we skip another year to 2 years ago, September 2nd, 2023, and here is a picture of me in the Will Rogers World Airport with my Oklahoma shirt on, and the day before we had been at an OU game, so we were getting ready to fly out to Arizona, and it says OU game over at the airport, let the adventure begin. And this was a trip Denise and I were taking to meet our other cousins in Arizona to surprise one of our other cousins on his, I think it was his 50th birthday. And that was the Arizona trip where we went down. So that was 2 years ago. We went down 2 years ago today, floated down the river, and I lost my wallet, my ID, my credit cards, my phone, my money, every form of ID I had. And so had to get back on the plane with no form of ID. But so that's where we were headed. So I'm in the airport. And then the photo before that is actually from the game. I guess it was maybe we went to the game and then immediately went to the airport after the game. I think it had to have been all on the same day. So September 2nd, 2023, this one says Boomer Sooner. And in 23, Piper was captain of the OU Palm team. And so there we were at Boomer Bash, taking a picture with her, getting ready to go into the OU football game. And another picture from 2 years ago, September 2nd, 2023. It says, senior year has begun in Soonerville. Go Piper. So this must have been the first game. It was the first game of the season. And the Palm team had lined up for the team to come in. So there's a picture of Piper in the street waiting on the team and me standing there watching her. So 3 years ago, we've got September 2nd, 2022, And the caption reads, "It's Friday, Friday, Friday! Since I spent the entire morning in a thick, wet cloud bank, here's a pic from yesterday. Get your geese in a row and get going. Good vibes to everyone. Congrats, Cowboys, now off to Soonerville." So this is 2022. It was Friday. That means we were probably leaving, getting ready to go to a game in Piper's junior year in Norman. And it sounds like there was no sunrise that day. So this was a sunrise that I posted from the day before. And there's a cool row of geese flying by in front of the sun. So that's pretty cool. And that's all for 3 years ago. And then 4 years ago, September 2nd, 2021, it says, "Happy September Tooth. It was a golden morning. We have a quarter of the year to go. Do big things, start new projects, write, color, create, make, sell, learn, share, live life loosely." Thursday thoughts. So that was on a Thursday. I believe this is sorghum, maybe, I'm not sure. So this was from the field out on the trail. So that was my sunrise for 4 years ago. Then we skipped to 5 years ago, September 2nd, 2020. And the caption reads, "I miss this crew. Even though it wasn't set in the 70s, 1980 was close enough. A great reminder of good old school days." And so this is a picture that I posted of the cast from Freaks and Geeks, which is a really great show. It only lasted one season, but it was a really, really great show. So if you have not seen any episodes of Freaks and Geeks, it will remind you of the 70s and the 80s. It is hilarious. That was 5 years ago. And then I took another, this was a video from 5 years ago. And so I guess this was in the middle of COVID, but the video says, "Another session with Smalls. I'm chewing gum, not eating seeds." And here is the video. So you'll want to get on my YouTube channel and see me feeding Smalls there. Gosh, I miss that little guy. There for, I don't know, a week or two. He came in every day and I fed him tons of sunflower seeds right out of my hand. He'd put his little paws on my knee. That was my little buddy. So that video is September 2nd, 2020. And then also from September 2nd, 2020, another photo. It says, "FYI, candy from my 70s childhood is back on the shelves. After 2 years of waiting, Nico wafers can be purchased online or in select stores. Are you a fan?" And so I had taken a picture of the old Nico wafers. If you guys didn't know, they're kind of, I don't know, nickel-sized candy that basically tastes exactly like conversation hearts from your old school days, basically made by the same company out of the same stuff, just a different shape. So they had quit making the Nico wafers for a while. Then I think that company got bought by a different company, and then so they brought them back. So that was cool. Boy, that was a busy day. Another picture from 5 years ago, September 2nd, 2020. It says, "Hit me up for a sticker when you see me. That Buzz guy and Enid Buzz will giving out freebies with stickers once again." And so 5 years ago, I had rebranded and I was calling myself That Buzz Guy, and here was my logo and some stickers. And that was just because everywhere I went in town, people were saying, "Hey, aren't you that Buzz Guy? Aren't you that Buzz Guy?" And so I kind of renamed Curtis Tucker and everything. But anyway, if you guys have been listening, you guys know I decided to try to simplify everything and bring everything back under just a few umbrellas. So I got rid of That Buzz Guy, and now it's Curtis Tucker is the blog and Zoinkies is the podcast. Then we jump to 6 years ago, September 2nd, 2019. Caption reads, "Another great trip to Granbury with my girls, loving the lake life." So we basically go down to Granbury every summer and stay with Staten and Michelle for at least a weekend. And this was at their old house on the lake. And there's me and the family in front of the lake. So that was fun. And then Denise had added a photo of us with Staten and Michelle in the photo and tagged me. So that popped up on my September 2nd timeline. And again, that was that was 6 years ago. And then when I'm in Granbury, I continue my morning walks or runs. And so they've got a really cool golf course area and then the lake, so I can get a lot of cool sunrise pictures. So I took a sunrise picture and it says, "Good morning from Granbury. Have a relaxing Labor Day." And this was just one of the photos that I took near the golf course. There's a lot of water, little water areas on the golf course, so that was from there. And then 7 years ago, September 2nd or September 2nd, 2018, it says, "Good morning and happy September 2nd. An awesome sight while getting a 7-miler in. Have a fantastic Sunday and Labor Day." And this was when we were still living over in the Woodlands, and I was walking through. I didn't walk on the trail those 5 years. I basically walked and ran through a neighborhood. And so this was a video. And if I get it there quick enough, you can see the geese flying. So that was a video and sunrise from Enid with the geese flying over. So I posted that video in 2018. And that was 7 years ago. And then I guess 8 years ago, I didn't post anything on September 2nd. So there's nothing there. 9 years ago, September 2nd, 2016, it says, "Wow, I have a crumb cruncher on the Enid High Palm Squad. Go Big Blue." So going back in time, this was before we knew if she was we didn't even know where she was gonna go to college, I don't think, at this time. I think we had an idea, but we didn't know if she would make the Palm team at OU. But anyway, I took this photo of Piper at her Enid High, doing Enid High Palm at a football game. So that was in Enid 9 years ago. And then we go 10 and 11 years ago. I must not have posted anything on September 2nd those 2 years. So we're all the way to 12 years ago. And now we're starting to get into areas where there was less photos and more texts and stuff. So 12 years ago, it basically just says September 2nd, 2013. It says, "Hello, Monday. Happy Labor Day, September 2nd. Thought for the day. Another sunrise, another new beginning." A quote by Jonathan Huey. And then I say, "Now go do something." And so that was basically just a text post. And like I say, right around there, it was right around 2012, 2013. I wasn't posting as many. I don't think the iPhones were as good, and I just wasn't uploading as many photos back then. And then 13 years ago, September 2nd, 2012. This was 2012, 2013. That was about the time that I had stopped doing my cartoon logo business and the Google AdSense stuff, and I had really started with Enid Buzz when I started Enid Buzz full time. And so 13 years ago in 2012, it says, "Heading back to Enid after a fun weekend in OKC with the family unit. If you've been in OKC lately, I can only say one thing. I buy your house. Laugh out loud." And Denise commented, "Wish we had a picture of that." So we must have seen something funny, a sign or a vehicle or something that said, "I buy your house." And it must have been all over the place, but I don't remember because I didn't take a picture. That's why you should take pictures and upload them. So I don't know exactly what that was, but it was Labor Day weekend. Cheney's birthday is September 5th, so I'm sure we had gone down to celebrate Labor Day out of town. and celebrate her birthday. We did. So also 13 years ago, September 2nd, 2012, we took the girls to the Omniplex, and the caption on this says, "Oops, honey, I shrunk the kids." And they've got this huge table and chairs, and when you take a photo, it makes your kids look like they have been shrunk. And so that's a photo from the Omniplex. The gosh, what's the name of that? There's a name to that place where the kids can play on things, and I can't remember what it is. Anyway, then 14 years ago, I was partially doing Enid Buzz. I wasn't doing it as a full-time job, but I was covering stuff in Enid in 2011. So September 2nd, 2011, the caption says the bike races, and I'll show it to you. For some reason, it got posted sideways. I'll turn it, and it blipped out on me. But basically, in Enid, back in those days, they had what we called the Criterion, and so these different racers would come in and they would race through downtown Enid on bikes, and it was really cool. And I would go down and video and take pictures every year. So that was fun. So that was 2011. And that was Piper was down there with me, and we were filming the bikes. Also 14 years ago, I've got another post that says crumb cruncherless lunch with hot wife. So Denise and I must have gone to lunch with just us two. Now, where the girls were, I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, that's what that says. No picture, so I don't know. Also, 14 years ago, it says Happy Tooth on a Friday, which is almost as good as on a Tuesday. Going to be an awesome weekend. Football, cooler weather, Crumb Cruncher's birthday, 3 days off, food, fun, and frivolity. Enjoy it, everyone. Go Pokes. So that was September 2nd, was on a Friday. And that was kind of before I started becoming a fan of the Sooners, because I was a Cowboy fan, and none of my daughters were going to other colleges at that time. And then 15 years ago, we get all the way to September 2nd, 2010. I've got another post, no photo. It says Curtis Tucker is buying the Crumb Crunchers a new bicycle. No, buying the Crumb Cruncher a new bicycle and remembering my own groovy monkey handlebarred, banana seated, 20-inch multicolored, silver fendered with sissy bar 70s retro ride. Also thinking about my bell bottoms getting stuck in the chain. And the funny thing about that is I was just thinking about my old banana seat bike, describing it in that post, and then just a few years ago, it appeared on Facebook. The first time I had visually seen a bike that looked exactly like it since I owned the one back in the 70s, and a guy that I know 2 blocks over was selling it, and so I ran over and bought it from him, but it's just too funny. And then thing about this post is my mom, this was 15 years ago, so she has since passed away, but she commented, had a laugh. I remember a whole lot of pants with ragged bottom on one leg. You must have put 1,000,000 miles on your bike back then. You don't go as far today. And then a lot of people described what their banana seat bikes were. And then 16 years ago, we are at September 2nd, 2009, I posted without a photo. Curtis Tucker is psyching up for some Wednesday night tennis, cold drinks, fun friends, a jalapeno chicken melt, and $1,150 pot of gold. Everyone send me good vibes so we can get this darn drawing over already. So that was kind of fun. Back in 2009, back in the day, Denise and I would meet a group of other couples every Wednesday night, and we would play tennis and then eat at the club, and they had what they call a pot of gold.
Someone is at front door.
Somebody's at my front door, and my phone is telling me that. Oh, I bet one of my daughters ordered DoorDash. So they don't like to wait. They like to wait till the DoorDash person leaves before they go get the food. Anyway, okay, back to the story. So Wednesday nights, we'd go to the country club, play tennis, and then eat. And Wednesday nights, they had this thing called a pot of gold. And I think it started with $100. And then every week, it would grow $100 if they would draw a name. And if you had eaten at the club on Wednesday, you would win the pot. If the person's name they drew had not eaten, it would grow and everything in it would last till the next week. So it was up to $1,150. I don't know exactly how much they put in each week, but we didn't win. But anyway, that was back in the tennis playing days, September 2nd, 2009. And then there is another post from September 2nd, 2009, and it says, Curtis Tucker shouts from the top of his lungs, "Hey, you guys! It's the 2nd. Look for some good things to happen today. Be sure and play the lottery." And that is very funny. That is from 16 years ago on September 2nd. And so today, being September 2nd on a Tuesday, I decided the Powerball lottery today is up to $1.3 billion. So today I went and bought 2 tickets on the 2nd on a Tuesday. They do the drawing tomorrow night, so I have a good feeling I'm going to win. And when I do, you're going to know it. So anyway, and that is it. I think I looked up last night that I think I really got on and started posting on Facebook around 2008. And it just so happened that I didn't post anything on September 2nd, 2008. I had seen something yesterday that I posted from 2008 on September 1st, but and that's the weird thing about these Facebook memories is it literally, so it has given me everything from September 2nd of every year that I posted something, but there's no way to go back and look at September 1st or see what's on September 3rd until tomorrow, which is kind of crazy that you can't actually just at the, there should be something at the top where you can pick the date. But anyway, you can't. It does not give that feature. I have tried, and you can pick a time period, but you can't specify like a date. So other than on your memory. So now at midnight tonight, I won't be able to see my memories from September 2nd until next year. It's kind of like watching television shows in the 70s. If you didn't watch it that night, you were out of luck until the next year. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. It was kind of fun going down memory lane. And again, that goes all the way back to 2008, 2009. And so I started working for myself in 2003 full-time. So, but there wasn't really, Facebook wasn't really going. I was blogging in 2005, but I have deleted all those old blog posts. So I don't know, this is kind of a cool little feature, but it kind of gives you a reason to post on Facebook often, even if you're just doing it randomly, and not really, wanting to build a following or anything. It's just a cool way that, like, I mean, this is 16 years ago. I can look back and see, what was I doing 16 years ago and 14 years ago and 11 years ago. It's kind of cool to see how you've progressed. And I kind of remember what I was doing, entrepreneur-wise through all those years. And then you've got I've got these pictures of the girls. I've got them when they were little. And then I've got Piper when she's in high school pom, and then college pom. And So it's kind of fun. So there are some, every now and then you do find something useful, something fun from Facebook. And I have to say that the memories is kind of one of the funner things that I've run across. So another thing that I may do here, since I have trouble coming up with topics that I think you guys might be interested in hearing, and this podcast is just, I just want it to be fun, and not really trying to teach or get a point across. But what I may do is pick a day, and it'll be a day in my life, but just from that day. So, what I do at 6 o'clock and 7 o'clock and 8 o'clock and 9 o'clock, and just go through one full day. I'll try to make it so it's a typical day, but a busy typical day where a lot of stuff is happening, and might even have to take my camera, do some filming on the trail to show you guys my morning routine and all that stuff. I mean, today would have been a good one because it's podcasting night. So it might have to be on a Tuesday, either be on a weekend or on a Tuesday, because Tuesday I do pretty much all my regular stuff, but then I also prepare for podcasts, go to Callahan's, podcast with Todd, and so that would make for a little more interesting day in my life. And the reason that I'm kind of doing this day in my life is that is the hashtag that I've been using for a year on TikTok and now on a lot of my other videos, because it's kind of a highly searched for term. There's a lot of blogs and video diaries of a day in my life, and so I lead a not super interesting, super followable life, but I do a lot more different things than like somebody that has to go into a cubicle every day. So, the people that go into a job and they're sitting in a cubicle 8 hours a day, every day, 365 days, or however many work days there are a year, they're kind of doing the same. And when I was working as advertising director, there was a lot of monotony in doing that same thing. But now, being an entrepreneur, I don't have set hours. I get my run in, and I don't even get in the shower until 10 o'clock. So so a day in my life is a little more interesting than somebody that works in a cubicle, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So I'll pick one of those days. You guys give me some feedback. I love how on the 70s Buzz podcast we have a cast of characters. I would love for you guys to give me some feedback. Email shags@shaggyduck.com or curtis@curtistucker.com, or send me a text, 580-977-9947, and I'll read your texts. But it'll be fun to have you guys as a cast of characters on this podcast and blog. And the cool thing about videoing this podcast is I can show visuals. If you guys send me something, or send me your picture, or you're in studio, I can video you. Like Gretchen came in, Staten has come in. I've interviewed several different people on this podcast, and I can get them on camera. So anyway, that is it for another episode of the Zoinkies podcast. Don't forget to subscribe on your favorite podcasting app. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. I have to get to a certain level of subscribers and this and that, and then I can start earning a little bit of money on YouTube, which would be kind of fun. And so anyway, that would really help me out. I got Frank here. He wants to say goodbye. Tell him goodbye, Frank. He said he almost glows green there. He says goodbye. If you're not watching the video, I think it was just now, a couple of days ago was National Frankenstein Day. So if you missed that, get out and celebrate Frankenstein. Real quick, here is the CD from our buddy Christopher Todd Davis. It's called Love in Space. You can download the songs off of pretty much all of the main song streaming apps, websites. Really great music. You can buy the CD from him, get a hold of him. Not sure if we're ever going to get vinyl. He kind of made it like one song too long to fit on an album, so we may not get an album out of that. Here's something fun that somebody give me some ideas. So real quick, I need some ideas from you guys. Hopefully several of you are watching. I ordered these online, and I've got like, I don't know how many hundreds of them. These, can you guys see on video? It's tiny little ducks. Let me hold. They're all different colors. They're really cool. Let me hold a yellow one up. Where's my camera? There. You see that? And then there's like blue ones and pink ones. So anyway, because I've got Shaggy Duck Studio, I thought, well, let me buy these little ducks. Now I know there are some people that like take hundreds of them over to somebody's house and they just hide them randomly around somebody's house. I don't know that I want to do that, but I don't know. I think it would be cool to figure out something fun to do with those. So if you guys have any ideas or you've seen somebody do something with these, there's also a company that made a little, some type of a board game, and these little ducks are everybody gets a certain color and you move these ducks around this game. I think the name of the game has something to do with ducks in it, but, oh, and also I've got these really cool Zoinkies stickers. Oh, gosh, I'm thinking, because I haven't podcasted in so long, I forget about stuff. Go to zoinkies.com, and that is my t-shirt store. The ultimate goal is to be podcasting, blogging, and selling t-shirts in my retirement, and also stickers. So if somebody these are pretty big. These are bigger than my normal 3x3. These are like 5 or 6 by 4 or something. And I don't have a whole lot of them, but if somebody wants a Zoinkies sticker, let me know. You got to contact me. And then I've also got some pretty big Shaggy Duck stickers. And I don't have a whole lot of these, but they're really cool. If somebody is like a super fan of Shaggy Duck, I would include one of those if somebody wants to help me advertise Shaggy Duck. And then I also have smaller ones. These are about the 3x3, I think. I got a lot of little 3x3 Shaggy Duck stickers. Oh, well, heck, even more. And then I've got this roll of smaller Zoinkies stickers. So I got all kinds of stickers. If you guys want Zoinkies and Shaggy Duck stickers, and I think I'm going to put in an order for some more stickers. I got another deal from Sticker Mule. I'll have to figure out which logo. It won't be one of these two. I'll go with a different logo. But if you guys want some stickers, let me know. Curtis@curtistucker.com. And I appreciate you guys. Thanks for listening. I'm rambling now, so I better get off. I will try my hardest to come up with a new episode for next week. Throw me some ideas. Just say, hey, talk about this, talk about that, talk about this. And that will give me at least a direction to go. So thanks for checking in. I appreciate you guys. Love ya. See ya.